TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations.
Shalom and good evening. I'm Mayan Hessen, and this is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the United Nations Security Council extends UNIFIL's mandate for Lebanon, while Russia and China block any condemnation of Hezbollah. Some progress has been achieved in negotiations with Hamas to release hostages in exchange for far-reaching Israeli concessions. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell urges EU member states to sanction a number of Israeli ministers. As hostilities between the Lebanese-Iranian proxy Hezbollah and Israel continue to intensify, the UN Security Council extended the mandate for the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, or UNIFIL, for another year.
Today, the Security Council is convening to renew UNIFIL's mandate. But what good does this mandate do when it fails so miserably to meet any of its objectives? On July 27th, in the northern town of Majd al-Shams, 12 innocent children were brutally murdered by Hezbollah, their lives stolen by Iranian-made missiles. This attack was a direct result of the failure of UNIFIL and the Lebanese government to implement Resolution 1701. This situation cannot and will not continue. I have a message for the Lebanese people. You and your government have a choice to make. Confront Hezbollah today or watch as your country is dragged into chaos and destruction. The time for action is now. Do not let Hezbollah and Iran dictate your future. If you fail to act, the devastation that follows will be on your hands. Israel does not seek war, but as we demonstrated this week, we will not hesitate to defend our people.
The Security Council voted in favor of UNIFIL's mandate extension unanimously, in what Lebanese Deputy Ambassador to the world body Hadi Hasham claimed to be proof of international community's interest in Lebanon.
Today's unanimous vote is proof of the international community's interest in Lebanon. It is a clear message from your Honorable Council in favor of stability and a ceasefire. It is a gesture of hope for all Lebanese who reject war, violence, and destruction. The Lebanese who want to give peace a chance. They are counting on the Security Council and on Lebanon's many friends to help achieve a cessation of hostilities and implement Resolution 1701 and all its provisions and in its entirety.
Despite the importance of UNIFIL's responsibility, the Iranian proxy Hezbollah has been endangering the peacekeeping forces by repeatedly launching rocket barrages and other munitions towards Israel from locations adjacent to UNIFIL bases throughout southern Lebanon. And while Hezbollah has essentially breached every paragraph of UN Security Council 1701, a resolution enacted to end the 2006 war between Israel and Hezbollah, as well as prevent the eruption of any future armed conflicts, members of the Security Council, including China and Russia, have refused to condemn the Iranian proxy.
Quiet had largely been maintained along the Blue Line for 18 years. However, that stability was shattered on the morning of October 8, when Hezbollah initiated a barrage of rocket attacks on Israel and armed terrorists subsequently infiltrated Israel from across the Blue Line in the aftermath of Hamas's brutal and unprecedented terrorist attack on Israel. Hezbollah made the escalatory decision to bombard communities in northern Israel, and for the past 11 months, it has done so on nearly a daily basis. It is wrong that this Council has yet to condemn Hezbollah for these repeated destabilizing actions, and we regret that a small minority of Council members blocked the Council from doing so in this mandate renewal.
U.S. Deputy Ambassador to the UN, Robert Wood, went on to stress, however, that the extension of the UNIFIL mandate does contribute to Washington's effort to de-escalate the ongoing hostilities.
More immediately, extending UNIFIL's mandate, which this resolution does, supports our goal of regional de-escalation, which is now more important than ever. We do not want to see conflicts intensify and spread. And most importantly, the people of the region do not want that either. Specifically, UNIFIL plays an important role in monitoring activity along the Blue Line and promoting stability. And it supports local communities by facilitating humanitarian access and providing much-needed resources and training. UNIFIL's liaison capabilities also are integral in mitigating the risk of miscalculation and preventing further escalation. Going forward, we need to address the ways in which Hezbollah and other malign actors in Lebanon prevent the full implementation of Resolution 1701, constrain UNIFIL's ability to operate freely, and threaten UN peacekeepers' safety and security.
Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu toured the northern front with Lebanon, during the course of which he stressed that Israel will not cease its offensive against the Iranian proxy Hezbollah until security is restored and residents of northern Israel can safely return to their homes.
I am here on the Lebanese border with the head of Northern Command, commanders, and our soldiers who are doing amazing work. A few days ago, we foiled a surprise attack by Hezbollah against the State of Israel. We destroyed thousands of intermediate-range rockets that were aimed at the Galilee and the Golan Heights. I repeat, thousands of rockets. We thwarted all of the drones that were directed against the State of Israel at the Galilee and the center of the country, and they were destroyed. This was a great success, but I will not tell you that it was enough. On the contrary, I said the simple truth, it is not the end of the story. When will that be? Only when we are able to restore security and the residents safely to their homes. This is neither mere words nor a slogan. This is a national goal of the highest order. We are committed to achieving it, and we will achieve it with your help and with God's help. Thank you.
Prior to Netanyahu's northern tour, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich visited Northern Command for separate meetings with IDF troops, with the chief focus of Jerusalem's efforts to support IDF reservists and their families, who have put their lives on hold, left everything behind to answer the call to defend Israel in the face of its enemies.
The reservists will continue to constitute the backbone of the IDF in times of war, as well as operational activities, years onward. As you witness our strategic neighborhood, to our regret, the situation is not calm, and we can expect a long period of operational activities in Gaza, Lebanon, Judea, and Samaria, and other places. We are determined to also succeed in our operational missions, the goals of war, to destroy Hamas and return the hostages home. We are similarly determined to protect the strength of power of the IDF, including the Army of Reservists, which is a formation that proved itself beyond expectations during this war. We understood from the start of the war that this war will be waged by the reservists. This war will be waged by the families of the reservists. Tanks are important, cannons are important, and aircraft are important, and munitions are important. However, the one to win wars is the human. It is clear to us that each and every one of you today would have come here to serve even if you wouldn't have received a dime. However, we as a state understand your needs and the necessity to give you breathing room as warriors and commanders, and the needs of you wives and children back home, to persevere over an extended period of time. We are dealing here with budgetary elements, and in my eyes, there are much more significant elements of a national perception, of appreciation, of granting preference and support by a nation that understands that there is a group or team within it that spearheads these war efforts.
Turning to the West Bank district of Samaria, where IDF troops have eliminated at least 10 Palestinian terror operatives as part of a large ground operation across northern Samaria. The operation, which is expected to last for several days, is focused primarily on the Jenin and Tulkarem areas, coupled with smaller military efforts further east. It is important to explain that the Palestinian Authority has largely lost control of these territories, with the Islamic Republic of Iran, via Hamas, and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad successfully filling the void. And while Israel does not remain indifferent to Iran's efforts to entrench itself throughout the West Bank, Tehran is reportedly preparing to launch an attack against Israel, while the United States Central Command is set to respond in cooperation with the IDF and other partner forces in the region.
So we continue to monitor the situation in the Middle East and remain postured to support the defense of Israel and protect U.S. troops and assets in the region. In two calls with his Israeli counterpart, Minister Gallant, this past weekend, Secretary Austin underscored the United States' ironclad resolve to support Israel's defense against threats from Iran and its regional partners and proxies. As many of you are tracking in support of this, the Secretary ordered our two carrier strike groups, the Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group and the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, to remain in the region. As we have been from the start, we remain intently focused on de-escalating tensions in the Middle East while also remaining focused on securing a ceasefire as part of a hostage deal to bring all of the hostages home and to end the war in Gaza.
According to separate reports that were corroborated by TV7, during the past few days, some progress has been achieved in brokered talks between Israel and Hamas, describing the upcoming days as critical. Moreover, Deputy CIA Director David Cohen told the London-based Reuters news agency that the fate of the deal was largely a question that is going to be answered by Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. The Deputy CIA Director further added that Israel has shown seriousness in the negotiations. However, Israeli officials have remained silent on the topic of developments, keeping matters behind closed doors to abstain from sabotaging the progress made in Cairo. Meanwhile, in Brussels, the European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Josep Borrell, whose anti-Israel sentiments are known, has acknowledged that he has begun the process of asking EU member states to impose sanctions against Israeli ministers.
But certainly, I initiated the procedures in order to ask the member states if they consider appropriate, including in our list of sanctions, some Israeli ministers has been launching hate messages, unacceptable hate messages against the Palestinians and proposing things that goes clearly against international law and is an incitation to commit war crimes.
While refraining from naming the Israeli ministers, in recent days the EU foreign policy chief lashed out at his Israeli counterpart Israel Katz, after the Israeli foreign minister ordered the temporary evacuation of Palestinians from the northern West Bank, in order to allow the IDF to root out Iran's local terror affiliates in the area. It is interesting to note that while Borrell has been eager to advance anti-Israeli measures on several occasions, he has showcased unyielding determination to block any designation or sanctions against Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps for the commission of acts of terror on European soil. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I'm Mayan Hessen, wishing you an Erev Tov, and we will see you again during our upcoming TV7 Israel updates. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.